Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Layer by Layer, the show about 3D printing and our place inside the industry. Today, we're going to talk about canceling subscriptions, a $350 million investment in Thailand, and China growing by $8 billion over the next 10 years. But before that, let's go ahead and pay the bills. Today is brought to you by Tangled Filament. Tangled Filament is our attempt to bring the cost of PLA filament down to $10 per kilogram. We're doing this by making it much more efficient and working to scale up production here inside the States. Right now, so far, we've hit $15 per kilogram for packs of 3, and you can get a hold of some of that filament today. While we are a little bit backlogged, we're working hard to get caught up, and that filament is shipping out within 4 to 6 days right at the moment. So go over and check out that filament and help us continue to reduce the cost, going from $22 down to $15 in 5 to 6 months. Hopefully, we can keep that trend going. And that's Tangled. We'll come back to Tangled here in just a moment with other stuff, but first, the news. The U.S. Army Combat Capabilities Development Command and Ground Vehicle Systems Center has awarded 3Year Mind and Phillips Corporation a contract to develop part identification solutions for tanks in collaboration with the U.S. Army Tank Automotive and Armaments Command. GVSC will work with 3Year Mind and Phillips to automate the process of determining which M113 armored personnel carrier parts can be produced with additive manufacturing. Notably, this project is directly connected to one of 2023's largest single U.S. government contracts for military advanced manufacturing activities. GVSC's award of $100 million to the National Institute for Aviation Reserve at Wichita State University to develop a powder bed fusion and directed energy deposition applications for the U.S. Army ground fleet. 3Year Mind's role is to analyze up to 10,000 parts selected by GVSC, assess them for their potential to be 3D printed, on the grounds of lead time and cost, as well as technological capability. This has become routine business for 3Year Mind and Phillips, which has partnered for projects for a variety of U.S. federal agencies, including a similar contract awarded over a year ago worth $2.5 million for parts identification related to the U.S. Marine Corps Digital Manufacturing Data Vault. Great. The military, we talk about the military using these parts often. 3Year Mind has the ability to basically absorb a catalog of CAD files and decide where they can go and what they can be used for. And of course, Phillips has the means by which to make the parts. Using SLS type of processes is easy because they're taking past injection molding parts and having them printed. It's not the most cost-effective way of going about it, but it's not terrible. It's good to see this kind of stuff getting more use. They say there's $100 million going to Wichita, Kansas, or Wichita State University. Wichita? But I'm losing my mind. It's okay. We're all right. We'll make it through. But overall, yeah, it's good stuff. It's a relatively small contract, $2.5 million, $3 million, that kind of stuff. But for additive, it's a big deal, and it's great to see. Also, the M113 armored personnel carrier, not really a tank. It's an armored personnel carrier. Very different things, but still a step in the right direction. NatureWorks gets $350 million loan to build PLA manufacturing plant in Thailand. They make a lot of PLA. PLA is used for packaging, medical. Yeah. We all know what PLA is used for. NatureWorks has received $350 million loan from Krungthai Bank PLCL to build a PLA factory in Thailand. NatureWorks already has a facility in Thailand, and Total Corbion, a direct competitor, has also built a factory there. Thailand has a lot of sugarcane as well as other high fructose plants that can be used to make PLA, because PLA is literally just plant sugar converted into plastic. You keep on taking that carbon chain and you make it a little bit longer and reconfigure it a little bit. But having NatureWorks build stuff in Thailand also puts them closer to Chinese manufacturing. When they're using this for packaging and interior decoration materials and that kind of stuff, medical nonwovens they have listed here, all of those things are mass-produced nearby. So having a plant over there is better. I think NatureWorks has 2 plants inside of the States of similar type sizes. The vast majority of PLA is not used for 3D printing, as much as we would like to think that it is. It is not. 3D printing is lower on the list. than all the other applications, primarily packaging. PLA is used in a lot of packaging because it's industrially compostable. It can be used for that kind of stuff. So yeah, but it's great to see that they're continuing to expand, that PLA hasn't hit any sort of like cost headwinds, because it is an expensive plastic. It's a very expensive plastic compared to other plastics, but having it available is fantastic. That though, also side note, since it is so expensive, it is good to use in packaging, because if you just like blow it into a film, you can make a lot of film from a very expensive plastic, and it doesn't increase cost that much. I mean, you notice a penny in a sheet of film, but it's easier to absorb there than in like bulk uses like filament, where it's a very chunky, very dense use that doesn't spread out over thousands of units. It's one spool, so it's very expensive in that context. But yeah, great to see that growing. We'll have better supply around and more competition for tangled filament, because now they can get a hold of PLA faster, but whatever. China's additive manufacturing market is expected to reach $8 billion a year in hardware sales by 2032, according to a new market opportunity brief by Additive Manufacturing Research. The report, The State of Chinese Additive Manufacturing Market Opportunity Brief, is available for purchase. Yeah. Thanks to a large part to government stimulus, reinforcing what has become key theme behind AM research analysis of late, the key role of the public sector. This is perhaps especially significant in the context of the Chinese market, especially because of China's expanded and expanding influence on the international stage. As it relates to additive manufacturing. China is about half the market, the additive manufacturing market of the US. We spoke about this a week or so ago that China is actually a little bit behind on additive manufacturing adoption from where a lot of folks thought they would be. So it's a little bit surprising in that context. And by the way, $8 billion a year in hardware sales, selling of the printers, effectively 10 years from now, I think that's wrong. I know 3D printing has not been on a tear here, but the $8 billion in I have not read the report. This is the first I'm hearing of it. $8 billion is really small, especially for 10 years from now. With the amount of world population coming online, or coming into a consumptive kind of middle class, that seems really small from where it is. I think they say, yeah, it's 2 billion right now, which again, also really small. But I got to keep in context that the entire 3D printing market right now is worth $20 billion on the outside, which is also really small compared to regular manufacturing, which is hundreds of billions. But 3D printing is going to have a more exponential growth curve to it there than many people realize over the next 10 years. It's just starting to break into usability in ways that have never really existed before. So that's based off past trend data. I get it. It's incorrect. Okay. Updates on Slant 3D products. Tangled. We are canceling subscriptions. Hopefully the blog post has come out before here, but yes, we have released $15 filament. We're not able to update our subscriber software does not allow us to update the pricing on it without canceling and restarting it. So we're canceling subscriptions. There will not be a subscription anymore. It has done its job. Thank you so much to everyone who has been a subscriber over the last 6 months or so since we introduced that. But we are going to make the fantastically terrible business decision and just cancel subscriptions outright. We are selling good quality filament. We are getting caught up to where it's always available. The subscription made sure that you got your filament. There were not batch constraints, that you got access to better versions of filament, quite frankly. So like PLA Plus and that kind of stuff when we were producing it. And just, reliable shipping and that kind of thing, as well as being able to be kind of on the journey along with us. But with that all being said, now that we have successfully introduced $15 filament, and that's going to stay. We weren't sure that 15 was going to be able to stay. It was a batch experiment, and then it might have bumped back up again. But the $15 filament will be staying, and as such, it would be wrong of us to maintain subscriptions, especially when we can't reduce them down to the $15 per kilogram price without a whole bunch of hassle. And it's causing a whole bunch of hassle. And the software provider of that said they were going to update it. They have not. So we're just cutting it out because it creates a bad customer experience otherwise and a bad customer support experience. So we are going to be canceling subscriptions. They will. We are going to pursue memberships, which will give access to lower cost filament into the future, as well as other types of perks, access to particular products, files, that kind of thing, to help improve it all. I mean, we got to incentivize memberships, but no, the memberships allow us to get a bead on where demand will be next month, better than just, oh, we hope somebody buys stuff. But knowing how much filament aboutish we're going to sell in the following month lets us manage inventory, which allows us to create higher savings, which allows us to push those savings onto you. Effectively what the subscriptions do, but with fewer restrictions and less weirdness, and the ability to push more perks into that. As we become more efficient, we can put more stuff on that subscription without having to change subscription pricing and that kind of stuff. The membership can just be continuous and help to and gain additional benefits over time. Kind of like Prime. At Prime, when you first did Prime, you got free shipping, but then over time you got video streaming and all these other things along with it too. So we'll probably do something similar to that, or like a Costco membership with Tangled. So, but yes, here in the short term, we will be canceling. All subscriptions have been canceled. As of the time of the recording, all subscriptions have been canceled. Because it would be wrong for us to keep on collecting on those after we're committing to the $15 filament for the long term. So that is out there. Terrible, terrible business decision. We're not supposed to give up subscriptions. Those are things you hang on to forever. They're recurring revenue. But no, it didn't mess with everybody. So all subscriptions are shut down as of right now on Tangled. And if you want some Tangled filament, it is right over there. And you can save your payment details so you can get it whenever you want. We are... as we discussed, I think I brought it up in the ad. We're still about, we sold out of the first batch of $15 filament. We're waiting on some material to get back in stock. Right now, it's a 2-week pre-order. Early, what's the next month? May, June. Early June, it'll all be shipping out and getting caught back up there. At which point, we will be building up inventory so that orders should ship within a day or two. And then we will sustain there. Because again, each one of these tiers, guys, we have to introduce, test, take our lickings. We expand, we regrow, and we're like, okay, this is as far as we can go to reasonably manage risk, because Tangled is a very high risk and very challenging project. Because to do low cost and do it good quality is really, really tough. So we have to do it in very bite-sized type of pieces, which limit what we're able to do. We're not able to just turn it on tomorrow, or at least we're not going to do that because it's too high risk for not enough reward. I mean, we're not making money off this stuff. The benefit of Tangled is really the fact that it allows us to scale up production so that our internal material use is more efficient. But since we're able to use it for our internal print farm operations, you guys get the benefit of basically having at-cost filament that is, just lets us scale up more. And long-term allows us to create a really good raw material supply chain for other print farms as everybody keeps on trying to grow 3D printing mass production, because there's not a raw material supply there. So that's the reasons for all those things. But yeah, Tangled will be canceling, or no, we've canceled all the subscriptions. They're gone. Okay, the Etsy plugin. The Etsy plugin is plugging along. Thank you so much. We've had a pretty good user growth over the last couple of weeks, ever since we introduced Catalog, which gives you access to prints that are kind of exclusive to you. It makes it really easy to ramp up an Etsy store. So if you have a series of products there and you just want to test out Etsy, you can do it without having to search out files and slice them all and everything else. You can basically pull down these listings and then focus on the business component of the Etsy plugin, which is the marketing, photos, that kind of thing, in order to create a good quality customer experience. And over time here, we're going to expand Catalog with more files and kind of tiering so that you can get exclusivity to certain files. But that'll be coming down the line. API. We did push some fairly significant updates to the API this week. Most of them are behind the scenes, so you probably didn't notice unless your orders aren't going through or something like that. Get on the Discord, let everybody know what's up. But yeah, it should be good. It's been stable the last few days. So if you haven't noticed, it's all working good. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. There, discussion topics. There's 2 discussion topics. That one I'm going to save until another week. First one, no pain, no gain. Classic. Okay. Almost every component of success that I have ever observed in creating a 3D printer business or in real estate agents or wherever else it was, wherever I've run into people who are good at their stuff, the analogy to going to the gym comes up over and over again. I use this analogy all the time from like 1% improvements. Like you can go to the gym every day and over a year, you will not notice the improvements on a day-to-day basis. But at the end of the year, you'll go from skinny dude to jacked if you show up at the gym every day and just put in the time. That same thing applies to showing up every day for work or for your business and just getting a little bit more and edging a little bit more. But there's another metric that seems to also correlate, which is also going to the gym. And no pain, and it's no pain, no gain. I personally, and this is a little bit masochistic, but if I am not in pain, I am concerned because it means we're not pushing hard enough. We're not going fast enough. Pain is an indicator that you're in a stressful or unknown situation. And if you're in a stressful or unknown situation, it means that you're growing, you're improving, you're doing something new and bigger than what you were before. As soon as you become comfortable, you're falling behind because somebody else is running harder than you. They're putting in the extra 5 minutes or the extra day at the gym or whatever it happens to be to get ahead of you. And this applies to, again, athletics and business and all the rest of it. If you do not feel uncomfortable, you are not reaching for as far as you could. You're staying within your box and you're staying comfortable. Now, there is a component of refinement where you're competent and you stay comfortable within it, but you get better every day. But again, even if you're in something that you know very well and you're just playing with a thing, there's discomfort in playing with something unknown. So again, the itch of like, I don't really know what's going to happen here when I poke that with a stick. And I don't really know how this is going to go if I go and retweak this thing that I'm going to launch or release. And I don't know if we're going to be able to pay the bills if we introduce this new division or a non-profit filament production business. If that pain doesn't exist, then it's really not a very interesting goal because that pain is indicative of the scale of the goal and how well you're achieving it or how significant it is if you achieve it. Because the other flip side of it is once you get over the hump of that pain and you master it and you get used to it and you own it, then the pain stops being like truly painful where it's just like, oh, the world is biting at me. And it becomes an indicator. It becomes a thermometer of like, I'm in pain, but it's good pain because I know we're going towards it and I know we're going towards it. But now you're able to then feel the relief when you're on the other side of it, which gives you the opportunity to just enjoy that. We just pulled ourselves up to the new rung of the ladder. We just did 15 pull-ups, whatever it was. And again, this relates entirely to the gym. I don't like going to the gym and not being sore afterwards. If I'm not sore, I feel like I didn't do anything terribly useful that day. Now, all the personal trainers out there are going to say, Gabe, if you're feeling sore every time you go to the gym, you're doing gym wrong, which is true. And I concur. But the rotation of it, and when you're comfortable over there, get uncomfortable over there. Try something new, mix the stuff up, step into something that you're not wanting to do. If you're good at something, don't lean on what you're good at. Go try something new and different. Not new and different, but tangential to whatever it is that you're doing. So you can take your competence with you, but again, be uncomfortable with where you are. That's it, guys. This one's going to be a short one. Through the magic of television, I am not here today. I am actually away and down in Austin, Texas, scoping out Mega Farm 2. So if you're in Austin, you might hit me up. I am still there as of you listening to this right now. So hit me up on LinkedIn or something if you want to meet up and I got time or not. I'm running around all over the place, meeting with a whole bunch of people. But I would love to meet folks who are just around down there. So if you see a guy over 6 foot with a black cap and black ensemble, this guy. Or maybe it's just a thing down there. I don't know. But have a great day, everybody.